Welcome back. Let's talk about Prince Harry, shall we? And let's go straight over and talk to the person I love to talk to about Prince Harry. She is, of course, over there on the West Coast, royal guru, our favourite guest, Kinsey Schofield. Hi, Kins.
Hi, Kevin. Yeah, I hadn't thought about this in a while, but where's Prince Harry's paperback book?
Yeah, well, what's fascinating about this? It's 18 months since Spare came out in hardback version. It was a best-selling book all over the world. Now, normally publishing houses, when they have a best-selling book, they'll leave it, you know, sometimes it's 3 or 4 months and they'll bring out a paperback, 6 months max, and certainly they'll think about it before the summer holidays when people want to pick up a book to read while they're on vacation, or before Christmas or something like that when people are in the mood to buy books. 18 months after Spare, there is no paperback version, which is extraordinary. Now, apparently, one of the things that publishers like to do when they release the paperback version is they like to spice it up with a few new stories. Now, apparently they got in touch with Harry and said, what have you got? You know, what have you found out? What can you put in the book that'll, you know, give us a nice selling point? Now, the interesting thing is, of course, since Spare, he's been totally frozen out by the royal family. They don't tell him a damn thing because they don't trust him. So when the publishers got in touch with him, he said basically he could tell them about struggling to watch the coronation from behind his Auntie Anne's plumed hat because it got in the way, apparently, Princess Anne's hat. Stopping into having to nip into Buckingham Palace to use the loo en route to Heathrow Airport. And finally, the fact that Meghan wished Charles well after his cancer diagnosis. That's it. And that may well partly explain why there hasn't been a paperback version of Spare. But I'd also suggest, Kinsey, that maybe the publishers are thinking, are people going to buy it? Because the popularity of the gruesome twosome, Meghan and Harry, has plummeted.
Yeah, I mean, they've seen a sincere decline when it comes to their popularity in the United States. But you know, classic Harry to talk about his Todger yet again. We're getting more Todger talk from Prince Harry in the updated book. That's like the last thing we're looking for.
Stop talking about your Todger.
So you're right. What they would need to do to repush this book is more content, like better content. We need an update on what's happened. And I think that either Prince Harry, as this article alludes to, has not been able to really get in touch with his family since the coronation. They have really distanced themselves, or is the publisher having, you know, some human decency and saying, before we stress this family out again, let's allow them to get through this cancer battle, which, let's be honest, if there's money involved, human decency is usually not too close. But I'm hoping that perhaps it's the publisher saying, we're going to give this some time because the family is going through a really tough time. But at the end of the day, Kevin, Prince Harry, what are you trying to hide about your own family? Because Harry and Meghan are they'll let us know all about Harry's family, but we really know very little about Prince Harry and his family, about baby Lilibet, about Archie. You know, a chapter on what happens in Montecito on a day-to-day, you know, typical day for the Sussexes. Now that's their new surname, according to recent reports. Yeah. I think that could sell too, but Harry and Meghan are only willing to sell other people's secrets, it looks like.
Yeah, good point. As I say, it may be that the publishers don't feel that Harry's popular enough to warrant the publication of a paperback version, but it may be, as you say, or as I'm suggesting, he's got nothing to add to the party. So it does beg the question, though, what the hell is this guy doing? I mean,
accepting awards.
Yeah.
But don't forget, do you remember it was about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer, that a travel agency released a report that the most common left behind item in the lost and founds at hotels all over the world was Prince Harry's Spare. People were dropping him off at pools, walking away. People were leaving him in their hotel rooms, walking away, and they had no one was coming back to get them. So all of these major chains were like, where do we send these used copies of Spare? I mean, people want this anymore.
Well, quite. I mean, you know, I would say, I read it. I'm sure, of course, you read it, and it was a good read. But as I was reading it, I'm thinking, this is a member of the royal family. This guy's fifth in line to the throne. Why is he telling me that his manhood, his genitals got frostbite? Why? You know, this sort of thing. You're quite right. So it was a surprising book, but it was a good read. It doesn't mean to say I approve of the book in itself. I thought it was a nasty little book, but it was well worth reading for the revelations, the surprising revelations. Of course, don't forget, we found out where he first had sex in a field behind a pub. That was very elevating as well, and so on and so forth. But now, so there's no paperback version. Perhaps they might release it before Christmas because they've missed the summer run now. There are 2 times you want to publish a book, just before the summer holidays and just before Christmas. But what is he doing with his life? What on earth is he up to? Apart from, as you say, ill-advisingly accepting that award last week for military veterans against the express wishes of the military veteran the award was named after, the mother of Pat Tillman. Really bad move, and people don't like him for that. But what is he doing? What is he doing with his life?
I know that this is not going to make you happy, but I'm sure he is planning to have to market the release of his upcoming Polo series.
Oh, God.
The Chinless Wonders, is that what you call them?
The Chinless Wonders horse sport that no one gives a damn about. No one cares. Even people who go to polo matches don't care about polo.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I'm like, I just want to make sure I look cute, but I have no idea what's going on the field. But remember, there was talk at the time that Prince Harry was having issues with his ghostwriter and that there was some friction there. Could there be an issue with could the ghostwriter be like, you know what? I was embarrassed by that execution, or I didn't appreciate the way I was treated. He had some vague Instagram posts that he released around the same time Prince Harry's book was released. Maybe there is tension there that we need to look more into. What is Harry doing right now, though? I would tell you he's as lost as he's ever been, Kevin. He's as lost as he's ever been.
He is lost. He does seem to be lost in Hollywood. Very, very quickly, it's Thomas Markle Sr.'s 80th birthday coming up. I think it might be Saturday, something like that. Do you think he'll be hearing from his daughter, Meghan?
I think hell is going to freeze over before that happens. But happy birthday to Queen Camilla, too. We should say happy birthday to Queen Camilla.
Indeed, indeed. Kinsey, I've spoken to you twice today. My cup runneth over. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. The great Kinsey Schofield there.